These zodiac signs do not live long. Some zodiac signs seem to burn through life faster than others. Their path is bright, rich, full of storms, victories, passions, and deep crises. But this intensity often comes at a price, and the payback comes before they have time to stop. This is not mysticism. This is knowledge based on archetypes, the energy of birth and cosmic rhythms of the soul. Today I will reveal to you which zodiac signs carry a program of a short but powerful earthly path. This is not a sentence. This is the key to awareness. After all, knowing your strength and weakness, you can change a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you are looking for not banal forecasts, but a deep esoteric understanding of life and destiny. Leave a comment. Do you believe that the time of life depends on the sign? Or maybe you recognize someone close to you in the description. We are starting. These signs do not live long, and there are reasons for that. The first sign is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a sign that seems to be accelerating since birth. It has no slow mode. All processes in its life are compressed, compacted, like a dense clot of energy that does not know how to slow down. It lives at high speed, and its internal spring is always wound up to the limit. It does not know how to be passive, does not know how to rest in the true sense of the word. Rest for it is a change of direction, but not a stop. This is its strength, and this is also its weakness. Representatives of this sign do not feel the limits. They constantly challenge themselves, test their body, consciousness, nerves. They squeeze themselves to the last drop. Their passion for life is accompanied by a constant internal burning that cannot be extinguished. And it is this flame that burns from the inside. Sagittarius rarely feels tired because it does not give itself time to realize it. It is capable of living to the point of exhaustion, ignoring the signals of the body, forgetting about sleep, about rest, about basic needs. It does not accept limitations, neither time, nor physical, nor social. If he is locked in a framework, he will find a way to break out, even at the cost of his own resources. He lives at the maximum, without reserves. And when the moment comes, when the body demands a stop, Sagittarius either does not hear or ignores. This is the very sign that goes forward even with a temperature, with pain, with overload. He does not consider it necessary to stop until he reaches the goal. And his goal, as a rule, is far away. The second dangerous factor is the complete absence of the instinct of self-preservation in the usual sense. Sagittarius is ready to risk for the sake of experience, for the sake of emotion, for the sake of meaning. He will climb to a height, immerse himself in extreme conditions, take part in an undertaking that 9 out of 10 would refuse. And if he is asked why, he will not answer, simply because he feels it is necessary. He is drawn to where there are few chances, a lot of unknown, and a high price. It is this desire for the unknown that makes him vulnerable. He does not plan a long old age. He does not live for his pension. He does not think about later. All his decisions, movements, internal impulses are for now. And in this now he gives it his all. His life is a flash, bright, fiery, intense. But it is precisely because of this intensity, because of the constant disregard for balance, that his path often turns out to be shorter than that of those who take care of themselves. He is not afraid of the end. He does not hold on to life as a guarantee. Depth, richness, honesty are more important to him. If you choose between safety and sincerity, he will always choose the second. And therefore he goes along the path without insurance, without a net, without a backup. Sagittarius does not die of old age. He burns out from the fact that he does not know how to stop. And his path often ends at the moment when others are just beginning to realize themselves. He does not suffer from regrets. He does not cling to the past. He leaves as he lived, quickly, accurately, brightly. And no one will say that he did not live enough. He simply lived more densely than many. But this does not change the fact. Due to the ragged rhythm, endless movement, and constant stress, representatives of Sagittarius rarely reach a ripe old age. They do not age, they burn out, not gradually, but like a flash of light, all at once. The second sign is Capricorn. Capricorn does not chase life, he conquers it. He does not wait for mercy from fate, does not prolong pleasure, does not waste time on sentimentality. His path is a constant tension of will, internal discipline, and commitment. He lives as if every day is the last chance to do something significant. And it is this internal pressure that squeezes his resources faster than others. This sign does not know how to stop. Even when the body asks for rest, Capricorn continues to work, plan, and bear responsibility. He perceives rest as weakness and a pause as a loss of control. He does not allow himself to slow down. Everything must be under control. Everything must be logical, practical, and effective. He sets standards for himself that no one demands. But he must be the first, at least in his own coordinate system. Accumulated internal tension rarely finds a way out. Capricorn does not share fears, does not complain, does not ask for help. He can silently carry a destructive level of anxiety inside, but still behave calmly on the outside. He will not allow himself to be vulnerable. And it is this closed, rigid attitude towards himself that destroys him from the inside. Stress becomes a background state, and the habit of suppressing emotions turns the body into a compressed spring. Capricorn matures early and relaxes late. He often takes on too much in his youth and does not know how to refuse the excess in maturity. It seems to him that without him, everything will fall apart. And this sense of duty burns out energy. He can live 40 years in a way that others do not live for 80. This is the reason. His resources are spent too intensively. He does not take care of himself because he considers this a weakness. In addition, Capricorn does not know how to ask for love. He can be a good friend, a strong partner, a reliable leader, but he accepts warmth in doses. But it is emotional contact that prolongs life. But Capricorn chooses distance. He is afraid of dependence, does not believe in unconditional. His heart is closed longer than it should be. And this is another reason why his life path can be shorter. He does not live quantity, he lives depth. Compressed, dense, hard depth, where every choice is like a shot, and every day is like a battle. The third sign of Pisces. Pisces do not live in time, they feel it. They do not obey the logic of the world, do not follow standard routes. Their perception is always half a step away from reality. They subtly capture mood, pain, fluctuations, vibrations. They live as if at the intersection of worlds, and that is why they too often lose touch with the body. The physical shell is not the most important thing for them, and this is the main danger. They may not hear how the body asks for help. Representatives of this sign tend to ignore signals of fatigue, pain, or stress. They can continue to live in the mode of internal chaos, not noticing how it slowly destroys their health. They lack grounding, clarity, boundaries. They easily immerse themselves in the world of others, emotions, experiences, dramas, other people's pain, and they forget about themselves. This is not a sacrifice, this is their nature. Pisces dissolve because they cannot do otherwise. They often live in a world of internal images, dreams, fantasies, plans that they do not share. They can carry dozens of unfulfilled desires and grievances within themselves, not expressing them for years. This creates a powerful internal conflict that affects health, the nervous system, and energy. Their weak point is psychosomatics. They are sick silently, distancing themselves. Often, it is too late to seek help. because they believe that it will pass on its own, or they simply do not want to disturb others. Pisces do not know how to be selfish. They give even when they themselves have nothing left. They are silent, even when they need to shout. Their kindness is unprotected, and the world, alas, is not always gentle. And this insecurity is the cause of internal exhaustion. They lack shields, filters, instinctive self-care. They choose others and forget that their own life is also valuable. In addition, Pisces are prone to emotional burnout. They live by feelings, and if they do not receive an answer for a long time, they fade away. The loss of meaning for them is almost physical death, and if no one gives support, if there are no ones nearby who will support the light inside, it goes out, and with it, the desire to continue on the path goes away. This is not a choice. It is the result of exhaustion. This is precisely why Pisces often do not live to old age, not because they are weak, but because they experience everything too deeply. They feel more acutely, suffer more quietly, live in their own rhythm, and this rhythm often does not coincide with the world. And if the soul is tired, the body can no longer hold. Pisces do not die, they just leave. When they understand that everything is over here. The fourth sign is Gemini. Fast thinking, impulsive actions, sudden changes, and constant internal acceleration. All this makes Gemini one of the most unstable signs of the zodiac. Their life pulsates at a frantic pace, where there is no time for a pause. They do not know how to truly rest. Even when the body requires a stop, the mind continues to chase new ideas, connections, chances. This endless mental race, which they drive themselves into, affects not only the nervous system, but also the life expectancy in general. The main risk of Gemini is wear and tear of the body due to constant stress. They rarely allow themselves to relax. Yes, on the outside they seem light, cheerful, relaxed, but inside they have a constant vibration, like a taut string. It is difficult for them to fall asleep. It is difficult to let go of the situation. They do not know how to switch to silence, do not know how to turn off the noise. This leads to chronic fatigue from a young age, which in turn affects the hormonal background, blood vessels, and heart. The respiratory system requires special attention. Vulnerability of the lungs and bronchi is observed in Gemini more often than in other signs. And not only because of physiology, but because they often neglect their health. They are bored of undergoing examinations. They believe that everything can be solved quickly, with a pill, coffee, the energy of thought. But chronic diseases accumulate, and at a critical moment, the situation can sharply worsen. Especially after 40 years, when many Geminis begin a crisis associated with rethinking the meaning of life. The nervous system of this sign works without vacations. Any external irritant is perceived as a challenge. Geminis do not know how to switch off from the news, from gadgets, from communication. They can be in 2, 3, even 4 streams of information at the same time. This makes them professionally effective, but destroys their biological rhythms. The brain does not get rest. The heart works in a heightened anxiety mode. They think that they control everything, but in fact, they control chaos, in the center of which they themselves are. An unhealthy lifestyle aggravates the situation. Geminis often eat on the run, forget to drink water, sleep little, and smoke more than other signs. They do not have the patience to follow a regime. They are not interested in living according to a schedule. But this is a direct path to premature exhaustion of the body. Their intellect and charisma do not save the body from overload, and often serious health problems appear unexpectedly, abruptly, without warning. It is also worth noting that Geminis often experience outbursts of impulsive behavior, which can lead to accidents. They act without thinking, drive quickly, cross the road abruptly. They easily get behind the wheel tired or emotional. Their internal haste and external distraction are a dangerous combination. Therefore, injuries, accidents, falls are frequent companions of representatives of this sign, especially at a young age. Geminis often do not take their health seriously until the first serious failure. And even then, they strive to return to their previous rhythm as quickly as possible. They do not know how to take care of themselves. It is difficult for them to accept that the body has limitations. They live as if time does not concern them, and this is the main reason for their shortening life trajectory. They need to learn to listen to the signals of the body, respect pauses, and appreciate rest. If Gemini does not draw conclusions in time, their active, vibrant life can end suddenly. Not from old age, but from overload, from an untimely diagnosis, from ignoring their own boundaries. The ability to say no to themselves and others is what they most often lack. Without this, the balance is disturbed, and if it is not restored, the energy with which they came into the world burns out ahead of time. The fifth sign is Aries. He can't wait. It's not about his temperament. It's about the code embedded in his biology. Aries lives as if every day is his last. Not from fear, but from impatience. His body is constantly on alert. Adrenaline, cortisol, impulses of the nervous system, everything works at the limit. The heart reacts to every emotion as an alarm signal. Where others are still only thinking, Aries is already acting, and this rhythm gradually burns him out from the inside. He does not age, he burns out. Many Aries in their youth experience dozens of sharp turns of fate, accidents, conflicts, physical injuries, extreme sports, attempts to prove to everyone at once. But the main risk is not outside, it is inside. Pressure, blood vessels, heart overload. These are the processes that develop faster than usual. The body does not have time to recover. Aries more often than others have hypertension surges before the age of 40, migraines, hormonal imbalances, especially against the background of stress. And he does not acknowledge pain until the last. He ignores symptoms that others would have checked long ago. Headache? It will pass. Heartaches? From excitement. Insomnia? Just tired. But these little things can hide the beginning of a destructive process. Aries often suffer from strokes, heart attacks, and sudden cardiac arrests, which occur when it seems that everything is under control. The vulnerable zone is the heart and blood vessels, especially after 35 years. It is at this age that the process begins when the body no longer pulls the speed that character dictates. The paradox is that Aries is a life-loving sign. He does not want to die. He longs to live, but he does not know how to stop. Even when the body gives signals, he perceives this as weakness, and therefore it is necessary to speed up, hence the risk. He can be a great athlete, a hero, a rescuer, a leader, but it is those who are used to going first who often leave unexpectedly. Aries women face problems with the thyroid gland, hormonal surges, and pressure drops. Men, with overloads of the heart muscle and liver problems against the background of an aggressive metabolism. All this does not allow the body to enter the phase of longevity. Peace, measuredness, observation. This is not about them. Even on vacation, they need extreme. Even in love, a fight. Aries often have problems with sleep, not because they do not want to sleep, but because the brain does not turn off. The nervous system does not know how to relax. Constant readiness to fight turns even rest into hidden mobilization. This reduces the resource of the brain, heart, and adrenal glands. And if in youth the body still copes, then after 50, every year is already going into debt. To change this vector, Aries does not need rest, but a new philosophy of life. The ability not to prove, but to choose. Not to chase, but to direct. But unfortunately, Not every representative of this sign is capable of such an internal revolution. Among all the signs of the zodiac, Aries is at risk for premature aging of blood vessels, chronic adrenal fatigue, and sudden heart failure. He does not die slowly, he leaves suddenly, because he lived too fast.